Yeah, the combination, I think, of Dev and James working quite well. Dev, from a Cullen point of view, line-out wise, has led the forwards really, really well this year. So, so that bit of continuity that he gives in terms of his leadership on the field is hugely important. James, in terms of what the numbers he's delivered, and he's been very consistent in his performances, had some big games for us. In terms of the back row, yeah, I think Reece and Jack Cullen give good physicality. Obviously, Dan comes back in, and just to freshen things up, really. Geordie's been done incredibly well over the period. But again, it's just to try and get a bit of fresh legs in there as well. So, Scott, I thought, gave good impact off the bench the last day. He's great presence around the group. There's a couple of other guys that are pushing hard to get picked as well. Obviously, Max is a little bit unlucky. He came off the bench the last day. He comes up with that big turnover right at the end. So it's tough on him missing out completely. But hopefully we've got a good balance amongst the group. He did well to get through 40 minutes last week, so we don't have to manage him for anything beyond tomorrow that I know of. It's great to have him back, or obviously back again for this game. Johnny is done a good bit this week. He was touch and go, as we talked about last week, but he's looked okay this week. It's huge, because it's this amazing window for the team, to do something very, very special. But I think people sometimes just think it just happens naturally. So, how we've tried to manage the group, making sure guys, when they are in the team, that they're able to give, full account of themselves, because we know it's going to be a huge test for us. I think you sometimes get the feeling that there's this assumption that's just going to happen for us. It doesn't just happen, so a huge amount of work has to go into it. And we've had 2 incredibly tight games the last 2 weeks, so combined winning margin of 4 points, and we need to just make sure we're clear in our minds that it's different to the semi-final we played Scarlets before. So they've gone away and completely focused on getting to this point where they can have another crack at us. So we know we need to try and deliver our best performance, so we've tried to prepare the group then accordingly, but it's going to take a huge effort from us. Well, a big part of that was last week, try and manage some of the group, and there's 4, 5, 6, 7 changes to the team, and just try and change things up a little bit, how we manage guys at training, and guys are in great shape. I think guys have been unbelievably well managed. I think the backroom team do an amazing job, headed up by Charlie Higgins and Garrett Farrell. So from a strength and conditioning, athletic performance, medical point of view, the guys get really well taken care of, and it's a credit to the work that they do. I think it's easy to point out the rugby coaches and how they manage the group, but the guys behind the scenes, the backroom team that we have done an amazing job. So to get the group in that are, we have an unbelievable injury profile if you think the games that the team have been involved in. So how everyone's been managed is testament to the work that they've done. So guys are in great shape, and we have a number of guys that are going to go off to Australia as well, and they'll head off hopefully in good shape over there as well. So still plenty of big games to look forward to. You guys see, I suppose, what he delivers on the field, how he leads by example, but that's what we see every day. He's will leave an unbelievable hole, I think, in the club. I feel very lucky that I think the club should feel very lucky that they've had him for as long as they've had. I just hope the guys go out and perform and put on a good show for him tomorrow. The teams know each other very well. When we played in the semi-final last year in the RDS, and that was the end of our Pro 12 season. We had to analyse that game very, very closely, so we understand the threats that they have and how they cause teams problems. So we understand the threats that they have. It's whether we can deal with them on the day. So the 2 games during the Six Nations were pretty tight affairs. 1-score game in the RDS, and then there was the drawn game in Wales a couple of weeks later, obviously after a game had been postponed as well, so that was another week's of preparation against the Scarlets as well. So then the semi, I suppose, we just got off to a good start in the game, which makes a big difference. So But you saw in the semi-final last year when you don't get off to a good start, and you saw it when Scarlets played against Glasgow, where they scored 3 very, very quick tries in the first half against Glasgow, and then they're so difficult to play against because they're so aggressive at the breakdown, and they're very difficult to play against because they've so many men in the front line. So how we manage the start of the game is going to be hugely important. I think the players are well and truly aware of a lot of the threats that Scarlets have. It's just whether we're able to be clear in our minds and how we deal with them.